Yo, Astro World, welcome to another episode of Astro Bros, the Hardwood and AstroTurf Talk Show where we talk sports. People, thank you so much for joining us this week. We got some interesting topics to talk about, and yeah, again, it's NBA. But before we start, as always, got to do a little check-in. Right, Yvonne, how you doing, my brother? How was the week, man?
I'm doing pretty solid, man. I ain't had a bad week. Not the best, but it was cool,
Yeah,
man. Can't complain. How about you, man?
long week. Um, week start to wind down a little bit on Friday, so they had a lot to do Friday
Mhm,
at work, and then the weekend was full of activities
mhm.
because Friday, man, played some lawn tennis.
Nice, man.
Saturday was beach volleyball. Again today was lawn tennis,
Mhm.
and they beat. And we just had our daylight saving time thing turned off,
Oh boy.
so
You know that's the
almost missed the
thing.
stream, boy.
Yeah.
Almost missed the stream.
Thanks for pulling through, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But
Mhm.
yeah, man, it's just that little transition. It's
Yeah.
it's not going to be a lot. It's just getting familiar with times, back home versus times here.
You know how it
And then
is.
scheduling and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, like I think that
yeah,
like
man.
one of the good things about living in a place like this, like so much things is be consistent. The weather is be consistent. The time is
Yeah,
be consistent. The people for the most part is be relatively consistent. So
yeah,
as I always
exactly.
say,
Yeah,
Barbados is a blessed place to live. So, but
facts.
you gotta deal with the change as it comes, right? Otherwise, you can't evolve
Exactly.
as a man, as a human being, etc., etc. But
You already
you
know
know,
it, fella. You already know it. Spit some game,
yeah,
man.
man.
So yeah, that's what it's been. But as always, though, I excited to be here. Excited to talk some basketball. Hear what's going on with the teams. Hear your take on it because it's always interesting to hear from you and
Hmm.
some of the points. Obviously, I don't agree with, but hey, we here to talk basketball. We here to talk sports.
It's
So
true.
let me get right into it, peoples. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you are in the chat right now live, spot Astro Bros a comment or something, say hello, say what's up. We'd appreciate that. If you haven't already followed us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram at Astro Bros. We also appreciate that. We put all of our predictions up there. We post some clips of games and um, like some cool content on Instagram as well. So you could go follow us over there. And again, if you're in the stream, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this content. We really appreciate that as well. So, without any further talk and do and dabble
All
and
they
diddle,
do.
let me get into this here, buddy. We can
Yeah.
start with the recap of our marquee matchups. Um, let me start with Hawks versus Raptors. Um, Raptors playing good basketball right now. What are your thoughts about that matchup?
Yeah, this specific game, the Toronto Raptors. I just say that for me personally, I don't put
Uh
enough respect on the Toronto Raptors. Truthfully,
huh.
but I watched this game from start to finish. These guys play them tail off on defense. The man was just
Yeah.
hounding Trey Young. Trey Young ended the game with 10
10
turnovers. 10
Oh, okay.
turnovers, yo. Like these guys were literally on these on especially Trey Young on defense. I think Trey Young had
Mhm.
like the worst plus minus on the team. Like for the time that he was on the court, the team was down 29 points or so. Like that is
Mhm.
insane. Their best player, uh, they were just like pests on defense. And every pass, then they got a pretty big team. A lot of guys like 6'6" and above,
Mhm. Yeah.
stout defenders getting in the passing lane. Shout out to OG Anunoby. He ended the game with 6 steals.
Nice.
I think it was just most impressed with the Raptors defense and their execution. Their defense led to their offense essentially. They were able to
Right.
take the turnovers, especially from Trey Young, and turn them into fast break points on the other end, easy buckets on the other end,
Yeah.
and executed extremely well. Put a thumping in the Hawks. I think the game ended 139, 109, a whole 30-point defeat. Pascal Siakam, as we talked about last week, was balling. I think he had a triple double in that game actually.
Nice.
26, 11,
Nice.
and some more assists. Like
Mhm.
the Raptors, yes, their record is 4-3 right now, but it's not a reflection of how well they are playing so far for the season. And again, being a little bit underrated because me personally, I didn't think that they didn't
Yeah.
really make any changes with the roster or anything. I didn't think that they would have been as good or continue to be as efficient as they was yesterday, especially on the defensive end. But
Hmm.
kudos to them.
Yeah.
Hawks in shambles. My predictions in shambles also.
Revisited. You gotta revisit that one. The second one is Warriors versus Heat. No, Warriors. Well, Warriors a little shaky right now as well.
Yeah,
They started off promising. Like everybody had
yeah, the first
good
game.
faith. Well, yeah, like everybody had good faith that the Warriors would pull through certain games, and right now they're on a little slow
Yeah.
downward. But we can talk about the extent of that a little later. But Warriors versus Heat, what you thought about that game?
Um, let me. This one is a little bit tough. You know what is interesting to watch, especially the Warriors and the Heat. I find that those are
Hmm.
teams that are very system oriented, and got a bunch of players that buy into a system, and it might be an organizational thing. I would say it might be a players thing, but
Hmm.
very structured in their approach. Very, I would say, a little bit unconventional in a sense because they do a little bit of things that other teams don't typically do. In
Right.
terms of how they play their defense, especially Heat, for example, a, a team that's very locked in on defense and can switch up their defense on the fly. Got a lot of versatile players. I can see like Warriors are like that on offense. Got some good structure and what's not, but I think this game was just a matter of Jimmy Butler taking over in the end, coming up with the clutch
Hmm.
bucket to win the game. Duncan Robinson was actually playing pretty good in this game. This is probably one of the best games he's had in a while. I know he
Hmm.
was like one of the players on people's mouths like 2 seasons ago, and ever since then he's just kind of found his way out to the rotation. A whole bunch of stuff. They had some up and coming guys on the Heat who were playing a lot better on both ends of the floor, but
Hmm.
had a great game. Bam was exceptional on defense. I, the Warriors. One of the big things that we can get into to later down in the show is the Warriors on turnovers. Just
Yeah.
can't take care of the ball well enough, and it was evident in
Yeah.
this game also. The Heat capitalized on that. But again, at the end of the day, it was still a close game coming down to the wire, and Jimmy Butler just took the Heat home. So shout out to Jimmy on that one. And
Yeah. Close game. Close call. Um, Next one though. Bucks and Wolves. Like, yeah. I I don't know. Go ahead. You could talk about this one.
this game was just the thing about it wasn't a bad game from start to finish. The Wolves were competitive, but right now the Bucks in a different league on their own. They're playing at a championship level right now, stomping
Hmm.
over all the competition that comes in their path. And Giannis was just dominant, even though I could say truthfully from watching the game at the start, he wasn't really having that efficient of a night getting to the basket. The Wolves are actually playing pretty
Hmm.
good defense on him specifically, but everybody
Right.
else was getting anything that they want. The Bucks could not miss from tree. Could not miss from tree. I don't know what they had in them. Guys getting out to the shooters, shooting it between the eyes. They just had something going for them on that specific night. I
Yeah.
don't know. Being a person that watched pretty much all of the Timberwolves games, I could say there's a little bit pattern in the season in terms of giving up the 3 point shot. The Bucks capitalized on it, truthfully. But
Right.
to me, in this specific game, they were playing a little bit better defense on the 3 point players. But the Bucks, the Bucks players were just hitting them. Drew Holiday had like 5 threes or something like that. Drew Holiday is not known to be like a great offensive player in any stretch of the imagination. I would say maybe in terms of
Mhm.
setting up players, he's a good assist man. But I don't know, man. Like they were just on a different level, truthfully. And then coming on to the end of that game, going into the third quarter, the
Mhm.
Bucks, well, Giannis specifically, just said, "All right, it's my time. Take over, put the game in the bag,"
Yeah.
and that was pretty much it. The Wolves again struggling on offense significantly, can't find a way to score the ball. Got outscored by three again. I don't even think they hit double digits threes in terms of mix. Like
Mhm.
they're really struggling shooting the three ball, and I think that's affecting their offense on the whole. But I believe in the shooters that they have on the team, and they're gonna find a way to get it back up to that point. I don't think it's something that would go on throughout the season. And again,
Right.
I said I felt as though they played pretty good defense on Giannis. I think he ended the game with 40-70% from the field. So
Yeah. How much points? You
definitely,
remember
I
how
think he
many
had like
points Giannis had?
20, 26. I can try to pull it back at here now, but
That's
but
good
he had a
defense on
triple double
Giannis.
though. He had a triple double because his
Yeah.
guys were just hitting from three. Anytime he drive, kick out the ball, hit him from
Yeah.
three, and the Wolves were getting there, but they couldn't really stop it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say on that regard.
Shooters right now shooting at a very high level
Yep,
because I be watching these games and the men be right in them face and them still pulling
still
up
hitting it
and
down.
splashing. So yeah, it's tough to block trees in this type of gameplay right now that Steph
Yeah,
is somewhat, well, Steph and the
responsible.
Warriors have
Yeah,
somewhat,
yeah.
yeah, responsible for.
Hmm.
Um, Let me dive in no deeper to what we really want to talk about. Um, Let me start off by looking at the efficiency landscape done by Kirk Goldsberry.
Yeah, so let me just
Um,
pull it up here up on the screen.
yeah, pull it up for the people to see. There's
So,
some there's some stuff that we need to address as as it relates to this landscape that he's developed. Um,
so let
Let
me.
me,
I can break it down. So it's basically
yeah,
this.
go ahead, go ahead.
You're looking at the graph is just showing the offensive and defensive efficiency. Offensive efficiency going across the horizontal lane, defensive efficiency going on the vertical lane, and
Hmm.
basically he kind of lays it out here. There's a quadrant of woe, which would include teams that have both had offensive and defensive excellence on the right quadrant
Yeah,
of the screen, of the graph, sorry, and teams that have been subpar on the left quadrant of the screen, in the quadrant of war as he call it. So
hmm,
my first thing is what stands out in this graphic. If you look to the top left of the screen, you can see straight off the bat the Clippers and the Lakers going
yeah,
off the map, going off the screen, going off the graph because their offense has been so bad. Of course, we already dived into a little bit about why the Lakers, their 3-point shooting has been absolutely atrocious. I think we would have
yeah.
posted a graphic
Garbage.
from the same guy here showing like how the
Yeah,
3-point efficiency has been, and the Lakers were absolutely trash. And
yeah.
that is one of the biggest reasons that is affecting their offense. The Clippers, on the other hand, they do not have Kawhi. I don't know what's going on with Kawhi, truthfully, but it's kind of
Kawhi just
disappointing.
just like AD. Kawhi just like AD.
Man, I think he even worse, truthfully. I mean, we've put a lot of.
Because he's there on purpose, you think?
Yeah,
You think
yeah,
he's being awful on
I think
purpose?
that that's literally
Taking
what it
sick
is.
days?
Yeah, I think that's literally what it is. Everything is below management. But I just I don't get it. You know, you want to see a player play, and there's always some
Yeah.
sort of ambiguity to what he can play. There's always
You
a hush
gotta
hush
play it,
thing.
bro. You gotta play it, bro. People paying and
Yeah,
supporting Clippers to watch you play.
exactly.
To watch you take the team to some victories. PG-13 can't do it by himself.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
and PG hasn't been that great so far for the season. He has had some moments, but
Yeah, like we need the full team.
exactly.
That's what we're trying to say. We
And
need
people
the
want to
full
see it.
roster.
Exactly. So
Yeah, man.
I can't
Get
really
off
dive
your
deep into.
backside and come and play the people
It's true, man.
basketball. You know what I mean?
I can't really dive into
You
the
like
Clippers, man.
people just pay for tickets in advance in expectation that the full roster can be there, people
Exactly.
can play. Yeah, everybody know injuries has happened,
Exactly.
but hey, if it's one of these measly
Hmm.
excuses for not turning up to the game,
But
talking about load management, it's like
but
you're
even
supposed to
measly,
take on load. Like
even measly is just that you don't got no excuse. It's just like Kawhi hurt, so like. But why is he hurt? What is he hurt with? What is the specific thing? You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And
no, but I mean, in regards to this load management
hmm
thing,
hmm
right? People ain't paying for that. You're supposed to be fit till you can't play no more. Basically, you got an off season for that, for
it's true.
managing load, for resting,
It's true, and that's
whatever.
the
You're
thing.
supposed to come back for the
People,
season, for the full season. You're supposed to play a full basketball season. You're supposed to be fit for that. I could understand if you like real old now and
hmm
you could only play a certain amount of games now because your body can't really take on a full season load.
right.
But if you going into your prime in your prime, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play a full season if you can manage it.
But what is the thing? His argument would be, yo, I can't
Unless you're
manage
trying to play
this.
till he's 50.
I don't know. But the whole thing with Kawhi is he is saving himself for the off season as usual, and that has been when he was at the Raptors. He didn't play all the games. When they win the championship, he didn't
Hmm.
play all the games. He wasn't. He missed. I would say about 20 or so games. Load managing, and
Hmm.
that just seems to be the team with Kawhi. And to me, he doesn't get the blame or the scrutiny that he deserves when it compared to someone like Anthony Davis, for example. Like
Right.
even though Anthony Davis does be hurt, I mean, I'm not saying that Kawhi don't be there, but Kawhi
Hmm.
Anthony Davis is there in street clothes, which he typically isn't, to support the team and watch. So you see him, around and trying to say what
Yeah.
they're trying to work. But even though there's always some little something nagging with him, we know that he's at least tried to some extent. But
Hmm.
Kawhi is just be like, yeah, I can just take these days off, because I'm trying to save myself for the postseason, and it's disappointing to see, especially a player of his
Hmm.
caliber that we know could be so
Yeah.
great and provide great moments on a night in night out basis.
Hmm.
The league will find a way to find some way to crack down on that because again, it's just so ambiguous, and
If it was a
it feels
Clippers
like it's
fan,
always an
I'd be
excuse.
heartbroken.
Yeah, but
Yep.
not to spend too
If it
much
was a
time
fan,
on
I'd be
Kawhi.
heartbroken, bro. Yeah.
It's true.
Why? Why go away? Yeah.
Anyway,
Um.
moving on
Yeah.
to when we talk
Russ
about the
is dead
Raptors.
to the Lakers too, so we
Yeah,
don't even need to talk about that.
exactly.
Yeah. We
Although,
could move
although,
right on.
although, before we skip off the Lakers, we must say that
Yeah.
Westbrook has been looking pretty good coming off the bench. He's actually been a positive player coming off the bench. Looks more energized,
Six
looks
man
more
of the year,
refined.
maybe.
Maybe who knows if he stays there for the whole season. At this point, I think the
Yeah.
Lakers are looking at it as a way. Oh, Westbrook is increasing his trade value. I think at the end of the day they
Is
might
it
still trade him, but
is
you
it
know,
is it better that he's coming off the bench because he's not playing with the starters, like the starting
yeah,
squad, or
yeah,
like he plays better without everybody from the starting
correct.
squad, rather than having to play
Yes,
with the people
because
from the bench.
Westbrook is a solo act. I think I could just put it like that. Yes,
Fox.
not in the sense of yes, it's
Fox.
still a team game, but Westbrook
Hmm.
is better suited to be the person that is steering the ship. Even though he's a turnover machine and all sorts of other negative things when he has the ball,
Yeah.
he is he is better suited to that role of all right. Let me take you to the promised land type of vibe. So he
Hmm.
thrives in that. He doesn't have anyone else to have to share the ball handling duties with, the usage with, and the second unit like
Right.
that. He could be the one to running the ship, and that is just his game. Full stop.
Yeah.
And bringing him off
Yeah.
the bench for him to run the second unit has been a cry from the coach for the start of the season, and there was a whole drama behind it, etc., etc. But kudos to him for not being so egotistical or egotastic. I don't even know if that's the right word I'm using,
Yeah.
but
That's it. That's it.
yes,
That's it.
yes. But he, you know, kind of humbling himself to accept that role, and is performing.
Yeah.
And I truthfully, I'm glad to see that he could come to grips with that.
Yeah. That's a fair point, man. Play if you got players that could play your role and be comfortable in that role, whether it be a step down looking in from the outside,
Hmm.
um, that's good because it benefits the team in the long run.
Correct.
Um, but yeah, that's some good insight. Let me skip to Toronto Raptors, who's been playing good basketball. You gotta put some
Yeah,
respect on the name.
exactly. Like again,
Yeah,
as I just said, Raptors are 4-3. I think I'm telling lies on the Raptors. Let me just double check the standings because
could be five. You
I
never
think they
know.
might be 5 and something. Pretty sure
Yeah.
that might be the case. Yeah, 5-4. The record is
Hmm.
not that great, but they're efficient in the things that they're doing. And
Hmm.
this landscape just shows you that in the future, I'm pretty sure they're gonna get some more wins, given how efficient they're playing. They're number 4 in net rating, and which is pretty good compared to the look at the teams that they're running: the Suns, the Cavs, the Mavericks,
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
Bucks, all teams that are playing well right now.
Them ain't wrong the
Yeah,
Bucks,
well,
but yeah,
yes,
I
yeah.
understand.
But in the atmosphere at least, just in the
Yeah, yeah.
atmosphere.
In the quadrant,
Yeah,
in the
in the
quadrant.
quadrant.
Yeah,
Okay, yes.
yeah,
And we gotta put some respect on their name for true. Shout out to the Raptors for
Yeah.
doing what they're doing.
But they're
Uh,
playing better offense now, Bucks. If you really read the graph, like
well,
but
I mean, yes, but
hey, that's what the
again,
graph
yeah,
say.
that's what the graph saying. But
I,
I mean, these numbers sometimes don't always tell the true story. Um,
Mhm.
I can say yes, the Bucks have been a little bit down on down on offense, but that is where the defense comes back and puts them in the game. Giannis has
That's what the
been,
graph
yeah,
say, buddy.
exactly, yeah,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
But that's
yeah.
where Giannis is usually right now is I would say is their offensive engine. Truthfully, he's the one
Mhm.
that's I would say taking them or putting them on their back, especially in the closing moments of the game to kind of like push
Yeah.
them through and get the points and get the buckets. But Lopez too, I would say to some extent.
Mhm. Yeah, man. Raptors. Kudos to Raptors. I just might go watch a game this year. So hey,
Yeah, man, he should,
yeah,
boy.
I excited for
Yeah,
that.
man.
Excited for that. Let me talk about Nets defense right here. You know, KD does put up the numbers.
The Nets.
Kyrie does come in when he have to. Um, yeah, got some drama with Kyrie again too, but we ain't
Yeah,
want to
right.
drift too
Exactly.
far. Yeah,
Exactly.
but yeah, just talk to the people about Nets
Um,
defense.
I think we a lot coming from stemming from the last thing because we talked about the Nets. That was last week or a week before. I think it
Hmm.
was last week. We talked about the Nets.
Yeah,
Yes, we had a Nets game last week in the predictions, right? I'm pretty sure, but
I can't remember, but yeah.
nonetheless,
Hmm.
the Nets are atrocious on defense and will continue to do so. Again, for me, I think they need to buy in from Kevin Durant to be more of a defensive leader. But the thing about
Right.
it is, something that I forgot to mention is his workload on offense is already so much. He still got the
Yeah.
energy to play on both sides. And right now, if he doesn't perform on offense, this team is absolute garbage. Like
Hmm.
he's the only one that's really lifting up the team. Uh, Sans Kyrie also because he's been pretty good on the offense. They're almost
Yeah.
averaging 30 apiece, and they're still struggling to win games. So
Hmm.
that in itself tells you the defense is quite rough. But again, he has to find something in him to pull out his thoughts and lead the team on defense or just be a
Yeah.
voice on defense. They don't have one of those guys. I feel like a low key loss for them in the off season this off season sorry was Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown wasn't that big of a player. Isn't that big of a player, but to me, he felt like the connector piece, especially on defense. But made a lot of those
Yeah.
like kind of marker spark. I would say kind of plays, taking charges, being
Hmm.
gritty on defense and what's not. And they're missing a guy like that. Don't have a guy like that for me right now. They just have a
Right.
bunch of offensive players, and that's not going to win it for you. Truthfully, they got to find some solution on defense. Ben Simmons is still, I guess, trying to get back to himself to some extent.
Still slow. Yeah.
They got a lot of work to do on defense, and this compounded though by the fact that they're looking for a new coach.
Yeah.
I don't think the acting coach will make that much changes, or I don't know, but I don't know what he could really do to get the best of this team defensively.
Yeah.
They got a lot of work to do on defense. I just think it starts with KD, truthfully, and eventually Ben Simmons
Yeah.
getting into a groove.
But would it be unfair to see a KD go kind of lead offense and defense too?
It's kind of unfair,
Like I
but
understand the necessity, but like looking at it from a workload management point of
ah
view.
boy, Kawhi laughing at you, ha. Kawhi laughing at you. It's true. Kawhi
But
laughing
yeah,
at you, man.
from that point of view, is it fair? Like,
I mean,
you can't
but
expect
I
a.
looking at it beyond actually. All right, you got to set an example, yes. So you can need to
Mhm.
expend energy on that, but
Yeah.
uh, even if yes, KD got to take some plays off because he is the offensive stalwart on the team,
Yeah.
carrying them pretty much to these victories with offense. There got to be
Hmm.
some some leadership and leadership. Yes, they got leadership on the court, but leadership as a voice. I can't say what I'm not in the locker room, but I can't say what it is that KD does or doesn't do. But if he's doing something, it's not clearly not effective. But I just feel like
Hmm.
they got to be more evidence of him on the court. Also, even if it takes some more energy from him on the off the offensive side to play
Right.
some more stout defense and set an example for those guys who may not be that defensively toted, but all you need to do is play with some more heart, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I think defense is an effort thing.
Yeah.
Majority effort, I would say like 60% effort, 40% skill. And if you could get that
Hmm.
60% effort, they probably could be a
It
bit
could make
better
a
on yeah
difference.
on
Yeah.
defense. You know,
Agreed, man. Agreed. Let me move on, sorry, to the next item. 1 minute. Tell us about Knicks.
I mean Knicks are mid. Just one sentence. The Knicks are absolutely mid. Again, we talk about the
Definition of average.
exactly.
The benchmark. Knicks is a
I don't know.
benchmark right now for the NBA.
The net benchmark for zero because that's what they are at net zero. I
Yeah.
again I didn't think that this Jalen Brunson acquisition would have done much to them. It's still all of what I'm saying is still a young season, so there's a lot to go. There's probably going to be a time where they're in the quadrant or whoa, but right now, absolutely
Hmm.
average. I don't see them shaking too much to the west, to the that's the east.
To the right.
Yeah, to the right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the Knicks will be very mid, and they always make mid moves, and this is just another result of it. That's my thoughts on the Knicks.
Well, I would say that they're in better position than a lot of other teams. So
Yeah, true.
if they can maintain
But
mid, maybe they'll go ahead.
one thing in the NBA, you don't want to be mid. You either want to be very good or bad. Because if you're bad, you could get draft picks, you could get a number one pick. If you're good,
Yeah.
you could get championships. If you mid,
Yeah.
you don't
I
get
see. I
nothing.
see. I see. I see.
You don't
It's
get
like, yeah,
nothing.
you are. You
Yeah,
go to where you is. Just
exactly,
try better next time.
exactly.
That's fair. That's fair. Thanks, people, for tuning into this first segment. We will be back, so don't go anywhere. If you do come back, make sure it be quick. We can come back and talk more about some NBA. We got a lot of things to talk about, people. So stay tuned. Welcome back, Astro family. Hey, let me dive right into it, right? Before we know wasting any time. What's going on with the Warriors, man? What's the problem at the Warriors right now? I know we hinted at it a little earlier, but Warriors right now are 3-7, and they lost five out of that seven
Yeah.
in a row. Something definitely is wrong. I don't know if it's Steph's fault because Steph's still hitting trees, hitting 30 per game on average or so. So talk to me, man. Is this carryover from the drama at the training session lately, or
Nah.
let me know what's going on. Let me know what's going
So
on.
again, coming into the season, we were looking at the Warriors. What we were saying
Yeah.
at that time is the Warriors are. This is when it was breaking down my predictions for how the standings are going to end up for the end of the year.
Right.
Warriors are going through a transition period where they're trying to, know, incorporate the younger players, but
Hmm.
still have the older players, the core players for the Warriors dynasty in place. And I think
Hmm.
this record is just a product of growing pains of going through that. We got Wiseman,
Right.
we got Moody, we got Jordan Poole, we got, I would say, Andrew Wiggins to a certain extent. Uh,
Right.
we got Jonathan Kaminga.
Hmm.
Those are the players of the Warriors' future. And right now they're just trying to find a balance of, okay, we still gotta get time to develop these guys. We still
Hmm.
gotta have time to win some games, or let the
Yeah.
champion guys, the core guys play so that we can win. Looking at the stats right now, the Warriors starting five are a plus minus a 60. So essentially, they're winning the the game by 60 points for the time that they share the court.
Right.
Every other lineup, except two other lineups that play more than 10 minutes, are negative, and those
Hmm.
lineups include all of the younger players, Poole, Kuminga, Wiseman, Moody, all those other guys. Trying
Yeah.
to grow and learn the Warrior system and grow with the team, so they don't have to be like a big drop off. Usually in these
Hmm.
instances where dynasty teams are fading out, it would be a case where or the team would just hit the reset button. I think the Warriors
Yeah.
are trying to not hit that reset button, but kind of find a way to mesh
Gear
the
down a
the
little bit.
new and the old to a certain
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah.
And this is just my philosophy on why they're experiencing such a horrid time, especially on the defensive end.
I think that they did this like prior to the playoffs last season, because they were losing some games and people were
We're
in
worried,
shock.
yeah.
People were like, "Whoa, what was going on?" And
Mhm,
I think that was a little bit of this going on as well.
mhm,
Trying to get those guys to play with the bigger boys. But
mhm,
I guess now that it's very early in the season,
mhm.
they're trying to put more of that, I guess, second branch team
Yeah,
in as a unit
yeah.
rather than along with the core
Eh,
players, so that they could get a feel for what it
yeah,
feels like to playing games together as that unit. Because,
yeah,
like you say, that might be the new unit moving forward.
yeah.
And if the earlier that they can do that, the better. Obviously,
Mhm,
they still have to manage how they play with that system,
yeah.
because they can't afford to lose too many games.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's going to be a big issue coming on to the end.
Right.
So they still need to maintain chemistry, enough chemistry for the core team, um, and playing time, so that by the time they get to playoff season time, it's a go and everything is good. And the other team, well, I shouldn't say the other team, but their second hand team is a little bit better at that point in
Yeah,
time.
and I think
So yeah.
I think this is Steve Kerr's design because last game they played the Pelicans. Not a
Mhm.
single one of their starting five played. Andrew Wiggins was
Right.
out. Steph Curry was out. Klay Thompson was out. Draymond Green was out. Well, Kevin Looney played, but he only played 24 minutes. I think
Right.
this is Steve Kerr giving these young guys some time to figure it out on their own without the star, I would say the core of the Warriors team playing.
Hmm.
So this is by design, even though it might look bad, and I think this may pay off in the long run because Steve
Yeah.
Kerr, I believe, is trying to prepare them for the Nets postseason run because of course as a team you want to be back in the finals, you want to make a deep playoff run, and this is just going to be the growing pains of it. Much like
Right.
any other team that has some new pieces to some extent, trying to figure it out as the season goes on.
But another thing that I think fans could look at, in terms of how the team is performing as that second unit, is like how bad are they losing? Like,
Hmm.
is it a super bad loss, or are they actually competitive with some of these other teams? And if you like kind of look at that, maybe that could give you a good idea as if it's working or not. If it's not working, you could tell that it's going to be one where they're losing bad.
Hmm.
Nothing is working. The basketball looks ugly or
Hmm.
whatever. But if they're putting up good fights and losing 10, 15, 20 points, maybe it might not be as bad as people might put it out to be.
Well, what my take on it is this: the Warriors system is a lot of moving parts, and
Hmm.
right now the Warriors are fifth in turnover percentage, right? Because there's
Hmm.
always these moving parts, a lot of things moving. It's easy to have turnovers on the Warriors system, and
Right.
right now opponents are scoring 22 points on Warriors turnovers, which is the worst rate in the league. So
Hmm.
again, young guys coming in trying to learn the system and they're going to make mistakes, and it's just happening that they getting hammered on the mistakes every time they do it, because right now the Warriors still have a high assist rate, so there's nothing in terms of chemistry that is particularly wrong. They still
Hmm.
doing their movement system, generating a lot of assists per game. It's just again, as I said, these young guys trying to figure it out on the
They
fly
need a
as the
ball
season.
handler.
as
Mm.
well, not necessarily, but figuring out as it goes on when they're playing.
Yeah.
And I could see it the same thing. The starting unit are culprits to the turnovers too because Steph does it, uh, Wiggins, those guys that take care of the ball. And what I do have to say about the starting is Klay Thompson. For me, I think Klay Thompson is still forcing it a bit, trying to get
Mm.
himself back into that, that kind of prime Klay
Prime
Thompson ness.
clear. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that
Ever since
has
injured,
that,
things were
yeah,
never the same.
exactly, that has, I could say that's a part that is detrimental to the team. uh Truthfully speaking, he's shooting 30 something percent on the season on a whole, all
Yeah.
shots, like that is not very good, even though he's shooting 30
Yeah.
something, like 34 35% from three, which is not a Klay Thompson mark. Truthfully, I just feel
Hmm.
that he's trying to force himself back into who he was before and not letting it come naturally, and that has also
Right.
been playing a part into their struggles. Maybe not as big of a part, but taking some really crazy shots that he really shouldn't be taking. Some wild shots, like you leave guys like Westbrook to take some bonehead shots like that,
Yeah.
in critical times, like doing stuff
Hmm.
like that. That's those things will always be detrimental to the team. But he's a man that's really trying hard, and I think he's trying to. There's such things as trying too hard sometimes, and I think this is
Hmm.
Clay is a example of an instance of that.
Okay. That I could see that. That's a fair point. Trying to get back to the level too quick.
Hmm.
Maybe, I don't know, relax a little bit. Hit the open trees. Hit those, get accustomed to those, and then do the crazy stuff afterwards. So, yeah, man, I agree with that. But we got another riveting force in the NBA right
Up and coming,
now
boy. Up
in
and coming.
Paolo Banchero,
Yes,
buddy.
man.
Talk to the people about this guy.
I truthfully haven't been this impressed with a rookie for a while.
Man's got the magic, bro.
The Magic got him, so hey,
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 it's all in the same thing, bro.
uh,
It's all in the same thing.
impressive. Paolo, man, starting out the season, the first player to total 120 points, 35 plus rebounds, and 15 plus assists since Dominique Wilkins, which is a big name to be compared with. I guess in the
Hmm.
history of the NBA,
Yeah.
as a rookie. Like, come on, man. We never see a rookie come out this good. He averaging 22. I think 22.9. So we could basically say 23 points on the season. So
Hmm.
far, it's only been 10 games. Take that into consideration. Only been 10
Right.
games, but that is I can't remember the last time I heard a rookie average 20. Literally, like,
Yeah,
none.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
22.9 points. So basically 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists in 10 games so
yeah,
far this season. Where to start? Just watching him play. You know,
yeah.
rookies are said to be like, it takes them a while to adjust. But for him,
Yeah.
it just seems so natural. He seems so controlled, so smooth. A big guy,
Hmm.
6'10", 250 pounds, and handling the ball like a guard, pretty much. Just so smooth, so fluid with his movements.
That's a big guy. I ain't gonna lie.
Exactly 6'10", 250 pounds. And what is impressing me the most with Paolo is the fact that he's already, well, just shy of the top 10 in the league in free throw attempts. One
Hmm.
thing, there's something called, I would call it earning a whistle. A lot of the star players, I would say, get it, after proving themselves over their careers. Uh, I would say the referees kind of give them the benefit of the doubt that they're a foul. With the
Hmm.
exceptional case of James Harden and and
And his
Joel
partner,
Joel Embiid,
LB.
they're just on a different level. It
Yeah,
ridiculous on them side, but most other players get the
you ref in
benefit of
them
the doubt.
pocket, man.
Yeah,
Probably.
gotta be. Paulo is averaging 7 free throw attempts a game as a rookie. I have
Hmm.
truthfully not heard of any rookie that has been able to get to the lane as often as consistent as him. The
Hmm.
free throw percentage isn't super great, 75% on the season so far. But the fact that you're
Yeah.
getting there alone and it has been consistent so far for the season is just
Right.
phenomenal to me. Especially, I just got to take into consideration a rookie. Rookies usually have an adjustment period before they can actually like figure out stuff in the NBA. But he just seems so like he's already been there already.
Like he
He playing like a
belongs. Like
vet,
he's coming
yeah,
back home.
yeah, exactly. Playing like he's been there for 9 plus years. Uh,
Yeah.
Getting to the lane like DeMar DeRozan, like come on, man, come on. That is extremely, I would say, ahead of his time. Even like for example, I watched a bunch of Timberwolves games, and the average goes to the basket pretty relentlessly. Uh, Truthfully, he really suffers from getting a bad whistle. There's a lot of times where
Hmm.
he should be at the free throw line, and this is his third year. Everybody know that Ant is dunk on people and is drive to the rim hard, and he's still not
Right.
getting, I would say, a reasonably fair whistle. But Paolo Banchero comes into the league and
Hmm.
is already, at the top of the league in free throw attempts. It might seem small to the average person hearing this, but free throw
Right.
attempts are a big diet of, I would say, a star player's offensive game. Getting to the lane is absolutely huge because
Right.
who could stop you at the
Turning
lane but
twos
you?
into threes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who could stop you at the lane as you? It's a free shot. So
Yeah.
that's already a good
Well,
sign for him.
you will have to shoot yourself in the foot.
Exactly.
The shot knows a lot about that.
Man,
But
shot.
yeah.
I feel like shot. Going off tangent a bit.
Hmm.
Shot hands was too big. And he could have never find like the actual stroke to
Yeah.
shoot the ball properly. With all
Like
seriousness.
his hands were built for
Yeah.
dunking.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
just hold the ball and
And
put it
dunking.
in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, on top of Paulo, getting to the free throw line, I just like the fact that he's already a top among the rookies in drives to the
Mhm.
basket. He's averaging about 13 a game. And the impressive thing about it for me is his passing out of the drives.
Right.
Something again star players usually do. Draw the defense attention with a drive and kick it out. Even though he's not averaging a high amount of assists, I find that he is already, that's a skill that he's already showcasing and doing it on a relatively consistent basis. Yes, he's
Hmm.
with the Magic, so the offensive talent may not be that great in terms of scoring the ball when he actually passes it, um,
Right.
which is evident with their record. I think they only won like 2 games so far for the season. They're 2-8.
Maybe that's why his assist things are
Are
so
so
low
low. Yeah,
because he doesn't have that shooting power to
yeah,
actually turn a good kick out
yeah.
into
Into a
points.
shot, exactly.
Yeah, peoples, you need shooters to help with assist points.
For sure, man. There's two parts to
Can't get
assist. There's the pass and there's making the
yeah,
shot. So you gotta got people to
yeah,
make the shot.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. If your shot don't count, it's no assist. It's
mhm,
just a pass. So yeah, that's very important too. Like when you look at and think about stats, who was helping you? Like who was on your team
mhm.
helping you get these assists? Who made like people would say that Magic was a great assist player, right?
Yeah,
like his passing was
Yeah,
out this world,
it
which
was.
is true,
Yeah,
right? But if he didn't have that teammate or teammates to hit those
those shots. Yeah.
shots, then he probably wouldn't be in the stat square, right?
Well,
And people wouldn't be talking about his assists. Maybe they'd be talking about the pass and
yeah, probably.
how colorful of a player he is. But
Yeah,
hey, you got to hit them shots, people.
yeah, correct. I agree with you, man. But that's something that will change over time. I just think that the Magic have a start with Paolo Banchero. What I must
Mm,
say though, compared to all, I never see he's in a unique situation where he's able to get a lot of touches because of the team that he's on. So
right.
his usage rate is almost like 30%, which is up there with like Luke, almost Luca. Luca's like 35 plus. James
Hmm.
Harden, those type of guys. So I think he's benefited from that because I don't think any other rookie would have that big of a percentage of usage so early in their career. And but the thing about it is, rookies are so usually so inefficient. He's already been
Hmm.
pretty efficient so far for the season, averaging like I think he has like 58, about 54.8% field goal percentage, which is pretty good.
That's good.
And
Yeah.
like, and he's a rookie, averaging
Yeah.
23 a game. Come on, man. Uh, Ridiculously good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He's going to be special, and
Yeah.
the thought I
You
have
think
in
he
my
would
head right
be
now.
okay?
You can tell. Let me see if you can tell me what you're thinking.
I don't know, but is he in question for an All Star pick this year?
I was just about to say the same thing. The Magic has to do. The Magic has to do better record ways. I would believe for him
Yeah.
to get consideration.
To be a
I think he
question.
will have the stats for it, but not the
Right.
team success for it. And a
Not
lot.
the team support.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
That
Sadly,
like people like you who really look at these players and single them out would be heartbroken because of that aspect of it. Like,
man. No, I get the situation. I get it because all right. The theory is, if you are as good as your stats say, then your team should be better. I think that's what the theory is.
but for rookies though, that's like,
You understand? You understand? Not
yeah.
many. There's not many. Like there were not many first year All
Wait,
Stars. The last first year All Star was
LeBron was an
Baker.
All Star
No,
last year, right?
you're talking about his first year.
No, no,
LeBron. Yeah, I think he
I
was.
think so.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but the Lakers weren't. The Lakers were bad, but the Lakers still win like almost 35 games. I think they did
out of 70 it
out of
is.
82.
It okay, okay.
So
I
if
understand.
if you could get to that number, you could possibly make the. Or if your team is on track to that number, you could possibly make the All Star
Mhm,
team because they've seen players on lesser teams make the All Star game just because of their individual performances. But like
mhm.
Trey Young, for example, he didn't have that good of a team. I think it was his second or third year, and he made the All Star team
Right.
because he was averaging probably like 30 or something like that.
Okay.
So
So yeah. So yeah, Paulo, you know what you have to do, buddy. Average 30.
I don't think he can get to the 30, but um,
Solo effort for you, buddy.
I don't know. The last player that was a All Star in the first year was Blake Griffin. That was a while ago. I don't think
Yeah.
his stats were that great, but he was on a pretty good team.
And he was a monster too. Like
Yeah,
when he
exactly,
came in, like he was relentless when he came in. So yeah,
exactly.
that's understandable.
So Paulo Banquero is my new favorite player to watch. I can actually start to watch some more Magic games because of him. Uh,
Yeah.
and the Magic on a whole as a
Scouting, you
team,
scouting,
yeah,
buddy.
the Magic on a whole as a team is a quite interesting team because they got a bunch of guys that are like 6'7" and above. They had a lineup out there. I see Paulo initiating offense, running pick and rolls with Bol Bol. I don't know if you know who's Bol Bol, but
Yeah,
pretty
I know
long,
Bobo.
lanky
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
and just a bunch of big guys on the court because a lot of their point guards are injured or hurt right now. So right now
Mhm.
they're running like a lineup with almost 5 7 footers out there, which is quite
They're
intriguing,
running.
and they're actually
They're
playing
running
pretty
like
good.
quarter skyscrapers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even though they're
that's
not
that's
winning, they're
keep
actually
the
a
ball
pretty
high,
yeah,
guys.
it's a pretty competitive team on a whole. So
Yeah. That's good, man. That's good that you single him out. I like that. Some people might be sleeping on him, so hopefully, we can get some more eyes on
mhm.
Paulo for this season, and hopefully he continues to impress and perform at a high level.
Yeah, man.
Um, we can smoothly. and eloquently transitioning to our predictions for next week or for this week coming, I should
Yeah.
say. Um, the first matchup we got, peoples, is Trailblazers versus Pelicans. At Pelicans, we know Zion is back. Um, peoples, put your predictions in the chat or head over to at Hastrobos. But yeah, prediction time. Dame or
Uh,
a solid Pelicans team?
DM. I don't know when DM coming back. DM was out with a little injury. Actually, ain't too sure when he coming back, but I doubt he can be back for this game.
Oh, jeez. All
Truthfully,
right.
sadly, but the
Sugar.
Blazers are still playing well without them. That must be noted. I think they lost to the Suns
Yeah.
last night. Even despite that,
Yeah.
but they would have won the game. Probably, I find like the Blazers play the Suns like already 4 times already. I don't know why the schedule
Yeah.
kind of
It's scheduled weird
weird.
and
Yeah,
like tight.
like
Cause
you
like
playing a bunch
he
of
play
teams.
Warriors almost back to back
Yeah,
weeks.
like they already played
Yeah.
3 games against the Warriors. Two
Right.
games against the Warriors. Sorry,
Yeah. Two.
which is
Yeah.
the only 2 games that they can play for the whole season. Like, so I don't know.
That's well.
I think what they're doing
That's
with the
well.
schedule is trying to reduce the travel because if you're in an
Ah,
area,
okay.
just play the
Hmm.
teams that in that area one time as often as you can. I think that's the
Right.
philosophy there. So I think that's why the Blazers might have played the Suns
But then
so often.
airlines getting lose out to you
Let
know
me care what the airlines. They
money.
care about saving money. What you mean? And saving the
But
players'
that's the
energy
thing.
too.
But fair enough. I can't see, man.
You feel
And
they've been trying to
I
spend
not
more
going to
money?
go through the whole politics and economics and all of this
Man,
here, but fair point is debatable, is arguable, but
yeah, man.
yeah, I don't know if it's because less people's been coming out to some of the games thus far, and like they don't have packed out arenas like before. Like
Hmm.
people still trying to catch the feet to actually be able to come out to games. So
Man,
maybe that's a part of it. But hey, I don't want to dive too deep. You had a comment to make on that,
well, coming out to games is very city dependent. Which team you are, um, how popular the team is, and what's not. So I don't think
right?
that's a big factor, a part of it. I just think that they're trying to reduce the travel because it's something that players complain about to some extent. You
Okay,
got a lot of travel to do. I have a game. I might have a back-to-back game right now in Phoenix. Then I gotta go all the way to Atlanta. Like that's a lot
yeah,
of travel. Like
yeah,
and that could affect the product that you put on the floor in terms of how the players perform, etc., etc. So I think they're
right,
just trying to find a way. Like, that's what they try to do. Right, when you're in LA, you can play the Lakers and you can play the Clippers. You could possibly play the Warriors also because them in
yeah.
San
Then
Francisco.
close,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're right. So which makes sense to me. So
right.
it's only
And then
fair.
just play like all of them twice one time and
Hmm.
then move over
Yeah.
to wherever.
Hmm.
Fair enough, I guess. Like, can't really argue that. And then you still got some um course games to play, like inter-course games,
Hmm.
sorry, to play
Correct.
as well. You got to go over to East and play some games over there.
Exactly.
So yeah, I guess the pattern will continue as is. Um,
But I going
but yeah,
Pelicans on this pick straight off
I
the bat.
yep.
Um,
I
again,
don't think Trailblazers without Dame could handle the Pelicans because
uh,
Pelicans is a solid team. I'm not even banking on Zion to like change
turn up.
things drastically,
Hmm.
right? But from watching how Pelicans finished off last year and how they've started so far, I think you can really say that to choose Pelicans is a bad pick.
Well, I agree. I could say that their defense have been kind of sus to some extent,
Hmm.
but I don't think that it will get much better, truthfully.
It might be a close game. You
But
never
yeah,
know.
it could be a close game because I think these Blazers guys do have the defensive prowess to some extent and
Yeah,
are playing some decent basketball without them. So
right.
they seem pretty connected and enjoying playing with each other. So I think it should be a pretty close game, if anything, unless Zion comes out and just goes berserk. Or
Goes wild.
Brandon Ingram back on the court now because he missed a couple of games
Right.
too.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Um, Celtics versus Nuggets. This is another
Yeah,
good. I think this is
this is a
another
hard
good game
prediction.
to think. But I can choose first and go with the Celtics. I
Alright.
just got faith in the consistency of Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown,
Mhm.
and don't forget Marcus Smart, the Defensive Player of the Year. he's still doing his thing over there. So I think I can go with that
Um,
Celtics side.
I gotta go with the Celtics too. Right now, I feel like the Nuggets, even though they're 6-3 on the season, uh, still figuring out some stuff,
Hmm.
incorporating Jamal Murray back into the lineup. He's still trying to find himself. I feel like he will have to bring his A game for this game to be really, a nail biter.
Competitive. Yeah.
No, it would still be competitive. My bad, not competitive, but
Right.
he could really push the game over the edge.
Nah, I put that word in your mouth.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no, no problem, no
Yeah.
problem, no problem, no problem. He could really push the game over the edge, going back and forth with either Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. You need that
Yeah.
somebody to kind of cancel out one or both of them. I think
Right.
Jokic would handle his own, which he has been kind of slow to start the season in terms of scoring and whatnot. But I feel that he's just trying to give Jamal and Michael Porter Jr. some time to work himself back
Hmm.
into play, into the team, into the system,
Yeah.
and you know, being a leader on that end, I would say. So they might I feel that they might drop this one, and
That's fair.
Celtics should take it.
That's fair. That's fair. No, Nets versus Clippers. This is also a good one because both teams garbage right now.
Yeah,
And is are you going to bank that Nets will turn up with decent defense
exactly. Or are you gonna buy?
versus
Yeah,
Clippers offense,
yeah,
or
exactly. That's the
you know what I
thing.
mean? Because it's like copy defense, not so good
Good offense,
offense. Like
exactly. I
how
don't
we
even know.
really play this, you
And
know?
and the Clippers are not bad on defense, so that's the
Right.
next
And
thing.
then Nets aren't bad on
Offense,
offense. So
so
so it's like which rope you can pull first. You know what I mean? Um,
but we gotta remember, Nets don't got Kyrie for right now. Um,
yeah, cause Kyrie missing games for some
so it
nonsense.
might just be Paul George
So
versus KD,
yeah, boy.
and
Yeah, Clippers not
KD
gonna
and the
go
sum
ahead.
of his
So
parts. I would bet on Paul George and the sum of his parts than KD, but the reason why I would bet against Paul George is Paul George could be extremely inconsistent at the flip of a switch. He could
mm,
just be very bad. I would more go with KD, so I can take a risk on the Nets on this one, even though the team a little bit shallow on talent.
uh,
Um, I can risk the Nets on this one.
I was gonna tell you Nets too because sometimes these smaller players that Nets got could be a menace,
Yeah,
like Patty Mills
right.
and these guys. I think Ben Simmons is still on the rotary.
Yeah,
He's still coming in to
yeah.
his
Coming into his
fitness
own,
and
yeah.
what's not.
To-
Yeah.
mhm.
So I badly want to go with Nets, right? But for some reason, I just feel like, ah, boy, Cody,
Come
this is
on,
a tough
man.
one.
Come
There's
on,
a
Hans, man. Lock in, man. Lock in. Pick something, man.
I trying to win, boss. I got the top right now. I come into tear your crow. I want
Sometimes
so
it's
that.
got take a leap of faith.
I want like pull it out from off your head and drop it on mine, bro. I want a crown right here, so in the top right corner, like right here, I want a crown right there. So
All right.
um, man, I can go with Nets, man. I just hoping
You don't
this
gotta hope.
this,
You just gotta be
this
confident
is
you
Nets
pick.
with a hope. Nah, B.
Don't hope on nothing. You gotta be solid. Pick who you
Yo,
gotta pick somebody and stick with it.
if I pick, I can stay with it.
All right.
But I oh yeah, I just hoping. You know what? Clarkson can come true for me, man. Clarkson, Clarkson can come true for your boy. I'm gonna go with boy. I can go in Nets, man. I can go
All
in
right.
Nets.
All right.
I feel like the game will be tight, and it could be a possible upset. PG-13 could bring in our rating.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We will see. Ew.
All right,
But I
Hans.
hate that all of the picks is the same too, right?
Hey,
That's
I
the
can't tell you
thing
who to
is,
pick. You gotta go. You gotta follow where you mind taking you.
but my mind was taking me Nets because like I banking on Nets offense versus Clippers defense.
All
That's
right.
what I banking on.
All right. So there you go. Straight. Next it is. That easy.
I hoping Kevin Durant don't disappoint me this night.
See, man, have a little faith, man. Have a little faith.
Yeah, man, a little faith could do a lot of things,
It's
right?
true. It's true.
That's what they say.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
I know, boy.
Any
Yeah.
other sports that you want to talk about? We pretty much finished our NBA segment. I don't know what's happening in F1. I see Lewis on the tarmac doing something for the people in Las Vegas, getting them hype.
You know that can happen. But Las Vegas is next time though, next year. So you
Hmm.
know, I think he's just warming them up
Hmm.
for next year. You know,
Okay, a
sell
little
some
teaser.
tickets.
Hmm.
Yeah, sell some tickets.
Fair
But
enough.
Brazil is next. Um, Interlagos this weekend. It's a sprint race this weekend. So free practice and qualifying is going to be on Friday. So short. They don't got much time to learn that track. Most of the guys don't know the track.
Hmm.
If I know the track, the guys should know the track more than me. So Interlagos coming up. Sprint race is going to be on Saturday.
Hmm.
So tune in for that. That's going to be very exciting. It's a short race, people. So if you haven't watched F1 before, go watch that race in Brazil. Last time out, Lewis dominated the field in Brazil. It was crazy from the back all the way to the front to take first place. It
Mm.
was well. I don't think it's gonna happen again this year. Not to burst any bubbles,
Hmm.
but um, it's definitely going to be a fight for second and third and fourth. I'm gonna put it that way. I got my boy Max to
Alright.
take it all the way.
Yeah, boy.
But Mercedes is coming on strong, so still tune in. You
Yeah, sure.
might get a good thriller out of that race. You know, anything is possible. Anything could happen. People could get overexcited, mess up somebody's who's at the top. Um, who's at the top's race? Like somebody could crash into Max. Who knows? Like Carlos Sainz had George Russell crash into him back in Austin, Texas,
Hmm.
which was a bummer for me, especially because I wanted to see Carlos Sainz do really, really well in that race. But hey, you know, sometimes these things do happen, and hopefully, it doesn't happen because I will also like to see Max increase that winning percentage for the season, so that he could be undisputed at the top
Hmm.
for most wins in the season as it relates to averages and stuff like that. So two name peoples, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very exciting race on Sunday as well. If Max has to take a penalty of some sort or whatever, he has to come through the pack. I'm pretty sure it will be a bit thrilling for you guys to watch that as well. There's only a few spots that you can really overtake in Brazil.
Hmm.
That's on the straights for the most part. If there's any overtaking in the S's and you know the weird corners, then trust me, it's gonna be fun. So yeah, I just basically promoted a race for F1 and not being paid, not being paid for it. But hey,
Any bold predictions for that race?
Max Verstappen for the win.
That's not a bold prediction,
Then
man. At this point, that's not a bold prediction. That's an expected result.
all right, look, minus Max.
Mhm.
This is my prediction for for Brazil because last year Ferrari was really strong in Brazil. So I'm gonna go then minus Max.
Minus minus.
I'm gonna go Charles Leclerc.
They taking this down here.
Lewis. Oh, you gotta put Max at the top if you think.
Oh, well, all right, no, we saying minus minus. We
Oh,
talking about
yeah,
everybody
okay.
else.
Minus Max. Charles. So we got Charles in second.
Uh-huh.
We got Lewis Hamilton in third, and we got Carlos Sainz in fourth.
Right.
I got Ferrari to do well. I don't think Perez can handle the Brazilian pressure, even though he's the closest man to Brazil in Mexico. Like he's closest, but I don't think he got anything on these men when it comes to the Brazil style of racing. So yeah, that's my pitch. Charles,
Alright.
Lewis, Carlos.
Alright.
Please come true, Ferrari. Please, please. I begging on you. Please
I
come
got
true.
a bold prediction for Brazil race.
Okay. Is this minus Max too or?
Yeah, this
or
minus
is this...
minus.
Yeah, yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo get a top 10 finish.
That's a big hole. A lot of faith. You're only supposed to got a little faith. A little faith does work. Too much faith is dangerous.
I listen. No, this isn't a matter of faith. I just feel like it's saying that can happen just because.
Okay. A
Um,
crash or saying
no,
it
no,
caused
I don't
Daniel
know
to
what
get
can
up.
happen. I just feel like it can happen because
Mm-hmm.
for some reason I feel like he can finish his season strong. In
Mm-hmm.
some form or fashion. I don't know why, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just my bold prediction, and
That's
I
true.
don't know if
That's
that
true.
will help him to get a
Wait,
spot.
you want to call a number on that top 10, or you
Nah,
good with
nah,
just saying top 10?
nah, nah, nah. If
Call
faith in
top
that
10 could be
strong,
10th.
yeah, it could be,
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Regards to get a top 10.
but
Maybe
that's
maybe I,
that's
I should choose a top 10 then. Like a bold top 10.
all right,
Maybe I should do that.
all right.
Um, but I can let you finish. I can think about
No,
my bold top 10.
I just saying that. I just got a gut feeling that can happen. I might be
Yeah.
totally wrong, but you know,
We got a minute left, so I can let you go quick, and then I can go ahead
all right.
and name my bold top 10.
Now you go ahead straight off the bat. Don't waste the time. Your boy.
Alex Albon, top 10.
All right, that easy.
Fire. Fire.
That easy.
Williams. There we go. Let's go. He was close last time out, so I hoping he could do it. Alex Albon for 10th.
All right, that
10th.
easy.
I ain't going to take you further than 10th.
That easy.
I don't think it'll happen.
Quickly before we go, shout out
Mhm.
to DRX for winning the League of Legends World Championships. I don't know how many of you watch esports. I watch League of Legends myself.
Mhm.
Great victory for our team. They were facing T1, which is a total team, especially when it comes to Worlds and the finals of esports, League of Legends.
Mhm.
And kudos to them. Shout out to them. That's all.
Bum. Easy. So yeah, peoples, that's been it for Hastro Bros this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have, hit a like, subscribe to this channel, and share the sporting fun with your friends. Me, Hastro Bros. We see you later, family.
Peace.
Peace.